Hello and welcome to Barry's Economics. Today I'm going to be talking about why, literally, metaphorically and seriously, billionaires equal slave traders. So, history is full of atrocities. Absolutely full of it. I don't know if you've read in history, I don't know if you've heard of history. Full of atrocities. It's madness back then, right? But there's a tendency for us to see every new age to see itself as the civilized, enlightened age, right? But at the time of the different atrocities, what's interesting is that mindset normalizes the atrocities. So, for example, what's the biggest abhorrence you can think of? Slavery, right? At the time, societies absolutely normalized slavery. There was, people thought they were civilizing the slaves. People thought they couldn't get away, couldn't live without slaves. I mean, you're not going to abolish them entirely. I mean, we can keep at least two of our slaves. I mean, how am I going to make sandwiches without slaves? I'll starve. I don't think you understand. I need my slaves. Or the women's equality movement. Men genuinely at the time, thought they were protecting them. Oh, the poor precious things. I don't want to confuse them with the vote. Yes, you're very, very precious, aren't you, little pretty thing? I don't want to muddy your head with any of the complicated things that men think about. You wouldn't want that, would you? Just sit there and look pretty. Pretty disturbing, right? I tell you what's even more disturbing, that at the time there was talk about women's equality. Even women bought into the story. Even women normalized their inequality to the point where, yeah, sure, there were suffragettes, but there were some women, I mean, look at these images, big groups of women that were against the vote. Women against the vote. You shouldn't listen to our opinion. In fact, this opinion, or this is an opinion, don't listen to this opinion and give women the vote. This is confusing. Protect us from ourselves. Please don't let us vote. And this is where it comes back to billionaires. We are totally normalized to billionaires. We can't see above the trench of where we are in. And a lot of people buy into the story of there being billionaires. There's an element of normalcy bias to it, of status quo bias, of just going, well, it's just the way the world is. There's just going to be a huge amount, some people with a huge amount of wealth. But from the future, it is going to look as abhorrent as slavery and women's inequality. Because to have somebody with so much that they can have a yacht, penthouse suites, and then another human being that can't even afford food or is having to do 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure that their kids have enough, it's like, that is abhorrent because there is enough to go around, there is enough to share. It's easy to get angry at the billionaires. It's easy to think of them as, you know, beard twirling, kind of like Bond villain. Oh, Montgomery, this is going to be so sweet watching people starve as we swim in lakes of gold. Billionaires aren't like that. They think they're helping. They think they're job creators. And we accept it too. Even though if you are at the sharp end of inequality, you feel it, but you accept it. Why do we accept it? Now, I've gone into authority bias in another video, and I'll go into it again. And I've gone into status quo bias, and there's a number of other biases. But another reason is the bystander effect. One of the best experiments that have been done to prove this, social experiments, is it's called the smoky room experiment. That sounds absolutely brilliantly mad. And by the way, I've got to say, I love scientists, social scientists, for some of the crazy stuff they put people through. And we'll be looking at some of those in future videos. But if you take a human and you put them into a situation where smoke is coming out of a door, say they're filling in a form or something like that, and if they're on their own and the room starts filling with smoke, they will tell somebody within 1 or 2 minutes, there's smoke, there's not meant to be smoke. I should do something about that. Smoke leads to fire, like the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. They remember that and they go and tell somebody there might be fire. That's when they're on their own. However, what's interesting is that if you ask somebody in and they're filling out the same form or for the same reason, and there's, say, another 5 people in that room that are all plants, and when the room starts filling in smoke in the same way, they do nothing. And what I love about this video is look how confused and gaslit this person looks. I mean, it's incredible. They're looking around like, surely we should be doing something about this, right? I mean, the room's filling with smoke, and because everyone else isn't doing anything, it's the definition of gaslighting, where they're like, oh dear, I mean, sure I might get burnt to death, but I don't want to be a social pariah while I burn to death. Oh, well, at least, I mean, everyone else seems to be accepting it. I suppose I should just accept what's going on. And obviously, it's not conscious like that, but it is that feeling. Yeah, that's very good, Barry, but what can I actually do about that? It's just the way things are, right? Wrong. And I'm wrong too in this. I'll go into it in another video about how wrong I am. But you can do something about it, because just naming it and speaking up about it is enough. Whenever it comes up, point it out to somebody. That's not right, is it? Oh, that's not right. And this is what I mean about going out, you know, Sally's economics, Larry's economics. As much as you can, talk about it, shout about it, because the more that you talk about the inequality that you see, the more other people feel like it's not normal. And the more you get towards what Malcolm Gladwell would call a tipping point, where enough people are talking about a thing that suddenly the emperor's new clothes get revealed and everyone goes, people are starving. And that guy over there, yeah, that guy, the bald guy, yeah, Jeff, he's got more money than he could spend in 1,000,000 lifetimes. Surely we should do something about that. Because that person over there has less money than they can spend in 0.00001 of their actual lifetime. Maybe we should share. So, billionaires equal slave traders. Simple as. See it, say it, sorted. I'm absolutely taking the TfL network rail saying for about inequality. If you have a problem, reach out to the British Inequality Police. See it, say it, sorted.